Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpole and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 81 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim the Rempire State Building Van Stratton. Alongside me is Rodney Newpole. Happy Friday, Rodney. How are you?
The Rempire State Building. I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy Friday to you as well. Got a little golf on this morning. Got up early, did a little run, got some golf in. Not golf. I don't golf. Watching golf. And I just don't love that there's too many guys that have gone low. And I don't want to hear it from our golf expert friend. I don't want to hear it. He's giving an explanation. I don't want explanations. Too many guys going low. I've got 6 guys on my millionaire maker team. 6 guys, top 20, not cashing. That's not okay.
So are you saying that you have a lineup that's not the one that we put together a couple nights ago?
I did do a few others.
I feel misled and cheated and wrong.
It's got some guys that we have. It certainly does. But I had a lineup before you and I did one, and then I added a few more, but not as many as maybe in years past where, I would have a bunch of lineups. I think I got to do that with the NFL too. I got to cut back a little bit.
Oh, it appears that we've definitely lost Rodney. That's unfortunate. He was on a roll too. He was on a heater. But he'll be back in a second. Just to recap real quick, our lineup that we put together on Tuesday night. We put together a lineup, and Rodney's going to join back here this second. But we have, first of all, hi, welcome back. You all right? You good?
Bro, it wouldn't be a stupidest sports show without somebody losing connection, whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's both of us. It's like rinse, wash, repeat, man.
Yeah. I was just about to say, though, that our lineup from Tuesday night, while it's probably not in contention to win millions of dollars right now, we do have 5 guys in the top 20. And then our lone outsider is Sepp Straka, who's 48th. So he's still well within the cut line at 1 over, and he's going to tee off here while we're live on the air. So there's a chance that he could move up as well. So it's hard to be upset with how things are looking right now. But yeah, I agree with you. Watching this morning and then seeing Brian Harmon go off and Hogard go off, and Bobby Mack is 5 under with still 4 holes to go today. And it's just there's too many good guys. You need some guys to just fall off a bit. And the saving grace though is that typically with these majors, a lot of times they make it harder as the tournament goes on, whether it's hole placements and obviously some weather conditions can play a factor as well. So that's the hope, that it affects everyone else, but somehow gives our guys a boost.
Yeah, we definitely. So shout out both Oberg and Jordan Spieth for good rounds today. Now they're not done, so knock on wood that they can hang on here. One of them's 2 under for the round one, or for the weekend. One of them's 1 under. So they got a couple strokes to spare here, but hold on these last few. And yeah, we have an opportunity at 6 of 6 with Sepp Straka. And I also don't love right now the cut line looks at 85, 86 guys. Now I know that can fluctuate and it will this afternoon, but I don't know. I feel like these cuts at 70 maybe is too many. Let's do a 50 player cut. I don't know. Just feel like too many guys are going to make the weekend. And when we have top 20 guys, of course I'm going to want that. But anyways, no, it's been an interesting tournament so far. Tony Finau with an eagle right now. He's now 4 under. So he's had a good weekend as well. And of course we didn't play him.
And we play him every single tournament, except
every single tournament. Every single
Yeah,
time. And then another thing that bugs me is like Bryson DeChambeau was dead yesterday. Like he literally was dead yesterday. Now he's on the cut line. So like I don't know. I guess I remember the opens where like you went 7 and over 6 over in day one and you had no chance of coming back. I don't know. I don't love it, but I'll continue to tune in here today. But I wanted to let you know I'm hitting my first ever Savannah Bananas game tonight.
Yes, you
Yeah.
mentioned that. Okay, so you
What?
mentioned the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, I don't know how much you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a Savannah Bananas problem. It's a Rodney problem. Like let me be clear. Like I understand the appeal of the Bananas. I find it a little odd that they're able to sell out any single stadium that they go to,
Yeah.
whether it's a 30,000 seat or like 80,000. But but I get it. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters, but for baseball. There's clearly an appeal there. There's a market there. But like when I think about what Rodney would enjoy from going to a baseball game, I don't think it's less baseball and more dance routines. Like, and that's sort of what I kept thinking about when you said that. And I'm like, I'm very interested to hear what your takeaway is after you see the full game tonight.
Yeah, bringing a teenager with me, bring my son. He's going to go see it as well, and yeah, it'll be interesting. But getting away for a night will be fine. I'll put on my music and dance hat for the night, and we'll see what happens. But no, it's Savannah Bananas in St. Louis tonight and tomorrow. I'm heading down there. It should be interesting. I'll give a full recap on Tuesday on what I think of it. But I find it interesting, and I agree with you. Like, how in the world do they sell out 60, 80,000 every single night they go? It's unbelievable.
And so there's a couple guarantees. It will be the largest attendance that Busch Stadium has all year tonight.
Correct. You're a fact. Yep.
That's absolute guarantee. Also, so like they're doing the whole stadium tour, right? And at each stop they go to, they're able to get a few alums from the major league team that plays there. So I like the odds of there being multiple former St. Louis Cardinals that that temporarily play for the Bananas, that like make an appearance, whatever, like that's very, very high. So I'm also interested to see who shows up there. Like, is it Adam Wainwright's?
That's 100%. Adam Wainwright's 100% the name I'm going to say. So being a Georgia, I know they don't. I mean, it's Savannah, Georgia, where they're based out of. Adam Wainwright's a Georgia boy. That makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense that Adam Wainwright would be there. What are some other names you were throwing out?
So it's got to be guys that are still living in the St. Louis area. Like, I don't know if you're going to get dudes that live, within their home country or like in a whole nother state, 2,000 miles away, that are going to fly out to appear for the Bananas. It's possible. It's very possible. But like, are there any Cardinals or former Cardinals you think that like would still be in the St. Louis area?
Well, David Freese was born and raised in St. Louis, so
David Freese is an excellent possibility. That's exactly like a type of guy I could see.
Yeah, I could too. Although I don't know if he necessarily has the personality to be all goof.
Doesn't matter.
Goofy.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They'll bring it out of you. They'll bring it out of you. Yeah.
So Wainwright and Freese would be my top two choices, I think. Trying to think who else could. I think those would be your top two choices. Of course, like it wouldn't be a Savannah. It wouldn't be a St. Louis like Nelly there. Is Nelly going to be there?
I don't think Nelly's going to be there.
No,
I don't. But but I'll throw another name at you. Okay. What about Emmy-winning actor John Hamm? Another St. Louis native. Like John Hamm. Like John Hamm is a type of guy I could absolutely see just showing up and
now one more that can't participate because of his injury right now. But what about Jason Tatum?
Ooh. Yeah, I could see him making some type of appearance.
Yeah,
That would be a fun one. Jason Tatum would be a
yeah.
fun one for sure.
Now
But yeah,
they would
the
have to
injury hurts
limit
for sure.
his activity. Yeah, the
Mhm.
Celtics are probably going to limit what he's allowed to do tonight.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like the players, they don't just like show up and throw out the first pitch. Like they put their asses in
Yeah,
uniform and they
yeah,
like take it at bat or they go and throw a pitch. Like so, that's why like David Freese, Adam Wainwright, like somewhat recently retired guys who like David Freese could absolutely
yeah,
go up there and still like swing a bat. Wainwright could absolutely go out there, throw a pitch. Like John Hamm, I feel like dressing up and like being one of the coaches or something like
yeah,
that makes sense to me. So yeah, I our minds are spinning here. I feel like we're gonna get
yeah.
this exactly right. I do.
Clearly, a St. Louis. If you see David Eckstein,
Ooh, David Eckstein. That's an interesting one. I like that
yeah,
one. I wonder
yeah,
where Eckstein's living these days.
yeah. I don't know that, but like he's the type I think he's flying in for this, right? Like they reach out to him, he's like, yeah, for sure, I'll be there. But
Mhm.
that's another name. I'll come up with a few more as we get off air today and send them over to you and see if we can nail the guest appearances tonight.
You know, David Eckstein's 50 years old. Is there a chance if you
Yeah,
saw David Eckstein, today in the year of our Lord 2025, is there a chance that he looks any older than he looked in 2006, 20 years ago?
probably not. No, he's
No.
always been kind of baby faced and looked young, but 50 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, life is fleeting.
Yeah,
Death is
you're right.
inescapable.
Right.
Well,
I'll be 43. I'll be 43 in less than a month, bro. All right, so I got a couple baseball games for you today. A couple games in the Major League Baseball. First one's pretty easy.
uh,
We're going to predict the
yeah,
bracket. I know we made our predictions. We're going to send those out. We're going to flush them. We have the ability to flush our preseason predictions, and now we're going midseason predictions. And you're predicting the bracket. Now, keep in mind, Major League Baseball now 6 teams. You know this. You don't like it. 6 teams National League, 6 teams American League. 1 and 2 get a bye. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. Let's predict the MLB playoffs, and let's start in your American League.
yeah.
Start in your
I'd like
American
to. This is your game. However, I easier for me to take it sort of division by division and then assemble the
Yeah,
bracket.
perfect.
All
Let's
right,
start in American
and
League. Whichever
and
American
yeah,
League
and thank
side
you
you want to
for
start with.
allowing me. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to flush my preseason prediction of Braves Rangers World Series.
Yeah, it's flushed. I don't even remember it. Kind of like I picked the
Even
Chargers
though,
3
even
years
though,
in a row to win the Super Bowl.
well, I'm pretty sure. Didn't you have the Royals in the World Series?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
I tried to
flush,
just sneak that one under so you wouldn't remember.
flush it all. I mean, I was high on the Royals too, man. Like I'm not gonna say anything too bad about it. All right. American League. So the AL East is pissing me off. It went from like the Yankees having an 8-game lead to now they're 2 games back of Toronto. Boston won 10 in a row before the break. So like they're absolutely in the mix. Even Tampa Bay, even though they've really struggled like down the stretch, they're still only 5.5 out of first. This division to me is going to come to like the trade deadline, but I will still say the Yankees are able to find a way. Like I think they had such a bad stretch, but it's one of those things where it's just like, all right, they got the bad stretch out of the way, and now presumably they'll find a couple guys at the deadline. Guys like Luis Heel, who have been out all year, they're going to come into the rotation. So I'll give the edge to the Yankees. They still have the best run differential by far in the division. So I'll give them the edge there. AL Central is easy. The Tigers, and I'll say right now, I do think that the Detroit Tigers end up with the 1 seed in the American
Yeah.
League. I do think they end up with the best record. And then AL West, Seattle is hanging around, but I think Houston gets it done. So I'm going to say Detroit is my number 1. I'll have Houston as my number 2, and I think the Yankees end up falling to 3. So those are your three division winners. And so
Yep.
the Yankees, even if they win the division, they wouldn't have that bye. So Detroit and Houston would have that bye.
Yeah, let me stop you right. Yeah. Let me stop you right there. That's exactly how I have it. Detroit 1, Houston 2, Yankees 3. All right, let me hear your 3 wild cards.
All right. 3 wild cards. No one in the Central. I think we'll get two teams from the East. I'll have Boston as my 4. I'll have Toronto as my 5 and Seattle as my 6.
Okay. So Toronto's your 5, Seattle's your 6. So you've got Yankees, Seattle, Boston, Toronto in first round. So I'm gonna vary here. I'm gonna go Seattle as my 4. Okay. I'm gonna go Toronto as my 5. So we're similar there. And I'm gonna go Boston as my 6. So we have the same 3 teams. I'm gonna leave Tampa Bay out. I'm gonna leave the Rangers out, and I'm gonna leave the entire Central out. We don't even talk about your former team, the Angels, who actually are still somewhat alive.
Are they?
So
are they though?
I have a Yankees Boston first round matchup and a Seattle Toronto first round matchup.
I mean, Yankees Red Sox playoff series at any point would be the desired outcome for the league for sure. Yeah, that would be something. But yeah, so we got the same teams, and like honestly, yeah, Tampa Bay's a game and a half out, but just the Rays weren't playing particularly good baseball. I feel like they're a team that could maybe like be selling. I don't know. I don't know what their direction is right now. And then like Texas and the Angels and the Twins are just sort of there. Like they're just sort of there. Yeah. I feel like this year is just like they're like I don't see any of those teams making a huge push. Tiger style.
So let's move to the National League, where if you want, I can start in the National League.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and start us.
I am going to take in the NL West. I am going to take the Los Angeles Dodgers as the top seed. They win the NL West. The Giants at 6 back are not causing the Dodgers to shake in their boots like the first week of the season, our buddy said. So not going to happen there. I will go number 2 seed. I'm going to go the Chicago Cubs are going to grab the 2 seed and win the NL Central. Now, Milwaukee's going to give them all they can handle at 1 game back heading into the second half, but I think the Cubs will get it done with their offense. Their outfield is really good. And then I am going to take the New York Mets to win the National League East. That one is just a half game apart between the Mets and the Yankees. I could go either way. I'm going to take the Mets. Although the Phillies have better pitching. They do. But I'm going to take the Mets to win that division somehow, some way. And then your 3 wild cards. The first wild card I'm going to give to Philadelphia. I think Mets-Philly is going to be a very competitive race. Come down to the end. Both going to finish, 580, 58% win percentage, somewhere around there. I'm going to go Milwaukee as your number 5 seed. I will go them in the playoffs. And then I am going to take, for your number 6 seed, I'm going to take the San Diego Padres. So 2 teams from each division, 2 from the West, 2 from the Central, 2 from the East. My matchups would be Mets, Padres, Phillies, Brewers. That's my National League.
Okay. So no Cardinals.
No.
No.
No Reds.
No San Francisco. Yep. No Reds. No Giants.
Yeah, not sold on the Giants. I haven't been all year. They don't do it for me.
All right. I am with you mostly. I will explain.
Okay.
So number 1, I do have the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're gonna win the division. They're gonna be the top seed in the National League. Number 2, I am gonna take the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm gonna give the Phillies the division, and I think that it's one of those things where like the Phillies and Mets will both have a better record than the winner of the NL Central, but yet there can only be one division champ. Mm-hmm. And I could see this division literally coming down to like the final weekend of the regular season.
Yeah.
Just the way that they've gone back and forth. Do we know, by the way, I would love if they happen to end the year against each other. I don't. So it looks like,
I'll
yeah.
pull
So
up the
Philadelphia,
schedule.
yeah, Philadelphia ends the season with a 6-game homestand against the Marlins and the Twins, which is a nice break for them. The Mets end the season on the road for 6 games against the Cubs and against the Marlins. So
Cubs Mets could be a huge series because Milwaukee, if they're anywhere within 3 or 4 games, would be right there, with the Cubs Met. Cubs would still need to win games, and even if they're up several on the Brewers, like keeping that second seed would be huge. So that's going to be a big series. Mets.
Yeah, Milwaukee ends the year. They have a 6-game road trip to St. Louis and San Diego, but then final 3 games at home against the Reds. So, yeah, it's just I got to factor in some of those scheduling things as well, especially for the divisions that are close. But I'll take the Phillies as my 2 seed. They're going to win the NL East just barely. God, do I want to pick against the Cubs in the Central? But I look at those 2 teams, the Cubs and the Brewers. One of them feels a lot likelier to add pieces at the deadline, and it's not the Milwaukee Brewers. So correct. I'm going to take the Cubs to win the division as the 3 seed. 4 seed, I will say the New York Mets. 5 seed, I will say the Milwaukee Brewers. And are you ready for this one? The 6 seed. Because what have I been saying all year, Rodney? There's a certain team in the National League that I was like, just you wait, because there's going to be a run where they surge. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Reds. This would mean no Padres. I don't know why. Like, the Giants have not been playing good baseball. I feel like the Padres are. I wouldn't be surprised if the Padres actually end up selling a couple players off the major league roster. The Reds are above 500. They got a plus 31 run differential, which is better than the Padres. It's better than the Giants. It's better than the Cardinals. Like, they've been a fairly solid team that I would not be shocked, again, if we get that late August, early September surge where suddenly the Reds have won 12 of their last 13 games and suddenly they're in the mix. Like, there has to be one team right now that currently isn't occupying a playoff spot that ends up grabbing a playoff spot with all this baseball left. Like there has to be. And we went chalk in the American League just because I don't really believe in any of the other teams that are on the outside right now. But like there has to be one. And I'm going to say the Reds are close enough right now in that wild card mix, sitting at 2.5 back right now with 3 months left or 2.5 months left. I'm gonna take them as my upset playoff team. They're gonna get that final wild card spot as the 6th seed.
So you've got Cubs, Reds, Mets, Brewers first round. Interesting.
Yep.
Dodgers, Phillies gets yours. So we have 5 of the 5 teams the same. I have the Padres. You have the Reds. So all right.
And that Mets Brewers series would be a rematch of what was a pretty epic wild card series last year.
Yes, you are correct. All right, so I got a different game we're going to play. It's called the trade deadline game.
Ooh.
The trade deadline game. Here's how this is going to work. I am going to throw a Major League Baseball name at you, and you are going to give me the team he's going to be traded to. Now, you could answer not traded, but that's not a whole lot of fun. That's just not a whole lot of fun. So we'll briefly talk about. I got a bunch of names. We may get through them all. We may not. We'll see how this works. But I've got name. You're going to tell me where you think they're going to end up. All right, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right, first name I'm going to throw at you is Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I do think he's going to get traded. Where's he going to go?
Being a part of Yankee Twitter now is a fun experience. The reaction after the X-rays, because Suarez got hit, I think, during the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And
he did.
there was a confirmation that the X-rays came back negative, and like Yankees Twitter is breathing a sigh of relief as if he's already playing for the team. Like that has cracked me up. I don't think that Suarez will be a Yankee. I think that he's going to cost too much. I think that Arizona is probably going to ask for like one of the Yankees' top prospects, whether it's Spencer Jones or Lombard. And like, you can't do that for a Suarez rental. You can't. He will get traded. I'm going to have him going back to one of his old teams. I'm going to say Eugenio Suarez will be a Seattle Mariner after the trade deadline.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I'll go Yankees. I think he is going to Yankees. I think they're going to find a way to get him.
If they can somehow keep Jones and Lombard at the deadline and sort of make anyone else in their farm system expendable, I think that's a possibility for sure. But I would not part with one of those guys for essentially 2 months of Suarez.
All right, let's go to the next one on here. We do have a comment. Yankees. Oh yeah, Yankees fan act like every team at or below 500. There's quad A farm team.
That is true. It's true. It's true.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Next one we'll go to here is an outfielder or DH from the struggling Atlanta Braves, and that is Big Bear Marcell Ozuna. Where's Ozuna going to end up?
Ozuna's going to end up right where he's at in Atlanta. He's Ozuna from the Braves, and he will remain with the Braves post deadline. He's been fine this year. Like the last couple years, he's been insanely good. I think this year's just been okay, right? I mean, like the Braves have been terrible, but them, yeah.
You just don't think Atlanta's going to move?
I don't think so. I think the Braves are probably looking at this year, just saying like, hey, like it's kind of a wash. Like we still think that we got a lot of really good players, and I don't see him getting moved this summer.
So here,
maybe in the winter, just depending on things, but like not right now. No.
So here's the deal with the Stupidest Sports Show and why I can do this, because I am one of the two co-hosts. I'm going to throw a team and have zero merit on this and have zero like ability to talk about who may go or what they would give up.
Yeah.
Marcell Ozuna's going to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay. All right.
Because why not? All right, let's go to the next one. Next one's starting pitcher from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen, is he going to be traded? And if he is, where is he going?
I know that like the game is more fun if you have everyone just getting traded, but like he's been pretty bad this year. He's got like a mid-5 ERA. I don't think his value is particular. Now, granted, like maybe that's a good buy low opportunity, but for the Diamondbacks, they're like, we don't want to sell our 29-year-old pitcher who's still, under team control for another year, coming off of a year where he's been really bad. Like, I think that for the Diamondbacks, it makes sense to keep him into next year. He's going to be pitching at a contract year. He's presumably going to be better than he is this season at 5.4 ERA. And then that's when you sell him if you're not in contention. I don't think now is the time. So I say Gallen remains in Arizona.
Zach Gallen will play for the Houston Astros at the end of the season.
God.
Why not?
I like the dynamic of me giving the informed opinion, you just throwing out any team. And the thing is, you're going to be right. Like, you're going to beat me in this. You're absolutely going to be correct. And it's going to be infuriating.
Let's go with a pair of closers now. First one's going to be David Bednar of the Pittsburgh Pirates, a guy that I think could get moved if somebody's looking for some bullpen help. David Bednar, is he going to go anywhere?
Yes, I do think so. I'm trying to think of like a couple teams because I don't think David Bednar is going to command the type of return that other sort of star closers might warrant. I'll say that David Bednar ends up going to the Detroit Tigers. I think that's the Tigers' big move. They fortify that bullpen a little bit because like the Tigers, we were looking at this the other day where the Tigers, like their bullpen has definitely been solid, but they don't really have a standout arm. And I think that now at the point where they are thinking about, hey, we can win a World Series, like they want to have a guy that they could really rely on in the ninth. And David Bednar could be that guy. So I'll say David Bednar is a Detroit Tiger.
I will go David Bednar because these two teams have had a history of trading over the last 20 years and go the Chicago Cubs. David Bednar, Chicago
division
Cubs.
trade.
I mean, Pirates Cubs haven't been afraid of doing it before. I know there's different regimes now, but yes, I'm going to go Chicago Cubs.
That would be something. Yeah, that would be interesting. And I think the Cubs are definitely probably in the market. Like, are the Cubs more in the market for pitching, or do you think they want to get another bat in there?
I mean, I think you would think you'd want pitching, right?
You would think.
I mean,
you would think. Yeah.
I think you
I'll say this real quick. Spoiler alert. I see the names that are ahead, but like, I do think the Pirates could ship off. So I think Bednar, and then what are the chances that we see Mitch Keller and/or Brian Reynolds also moved?
Yeah, I think it's possible. It's certainly possible. Pirates have several guys that could get moved. Dan mentions one, Key Brian Hayes.
That's another one that I've heard people mention him as a guy. Like Key Brian Hayes, I think he kind of is what he is at this point. He's been in the league for several years. He still can't really hit, but he's an excellent defensive third baseman. And for a team that like doesn't have a real third baseman, he makes sense. So
yeah. Let's go with the next one here. Emmanuel Clase from the Cleveland Guardians. Maybe they don't ship him, but that's no fun. So where's Clase going to go?
Emmanuel Clase will be. I'm going to say Emmanuel Clase will be a Philadelphia Philly this winter. Not the summer. This winter, he will be dealt.
So your trade deadline here in 2 weeks is going to suck.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most trade deadlines do end up kind of sucking.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I am making it not.
But
suck.
the good news is because there's a historic Tim curse that listeners of our show know about.
Yeah.
That means that all of the guys I say won't get moved will get moved, and we'll end up having the most explosive trade deadline ever. By the way, do you remember like 2008? We used to have trade deadlines with Manny Ramirez, Mark Teixeira, and CC Sabathia all traded, and now we're sitting here talking about David Bednar and Eugenio Suarez.
Right. Well, let's talk about the Tim curse real quick. I was hoping, and it's still somewhat alive here. Yesterday, when you declared Jordan Spieth a bad play on Daily Fantasy,
hasn't had a bogey since.
No, he hasn't. He's 3 under on the day. He's 3 under on the day, 1 under for the tournament. Now, is he going to go win it? No, but being the bad play, I'm not so sure here. Jordan Spieth suddenly is definitely not a bad play. But anyways, Emmanuel Clase to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Ugh.
Why not? Next one.
I thought about that, but I was like, surely the Dodgers, like they already signed Tanner Scott to a multi-year deal. They got Kirby. What's it? I almost said Kirby Puckett. That's not the one. Kirby Yates. I was like, they got these bullpen guys. Surely they won't do this. But like, it's funny. I did see. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I came across this, but on ESPN LA, one of their hosts, who everyone's an insider, quote unquote, but their host had heard rumblings, I guess, that the Dodgers were trying to get a deal done for Clase and Steven Kwan, because right now, like the Dodgers, they have the super team, but yet like they don't have a really good option in left field. Michael Conforto has been really bad for them, so like Steven Kwan would be his replacement, and then obviously Clase in there. That would cost them quite a bit, but like they can swing it with prospects, what have you. So yeah, that's a possibility.
Next one I'm going to go with is Sandy Alcantara, whatever you want to call him. Sandy from the Marlins. Is he going to get moved? If he does, where is he going to go?
Man, I'm such a wet blanket with this game. The problem with Sandy is it's the same issue as with Zach Gallen, where if this was last year or 2 years ago, their value is enormous, but like neither of them have been great. Plus with the Marlins, I don't think that there's a real need to trade him right now. Like he's still under contract after this year for 2 more years. Now, like that helps with negotiations, because any team that would trade for him would get him for multiple years and not just 2 months. But like you would want Sandy to be at a higher value than he is right now. So I will once again say Sandy Alcantara does not get moved.
So he stays in Miami. Sandy Alcantara to the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh dear God.
Why not?
Okay. No,
all right.
All right.
Next one is a catcher. A catcher on the board. Maybe he's on the board. I don't know. I'm kind of just throwing some names out there.
Is he on the board?
He is now. Sean Murphy from the Atlanta Braves. Sean Murphy from the Atlanta Braves. Who could use a catcher this time of year? Who could use a catcher? Sean Murphy, Atlanta Braves.
Oh. Who can use a catcher? Like Toronto? Can they use a catcher?
Toronto has it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like potential playoff teams here. Oh, we skipped.
That's all right. Sean Murphy.
All right, playing the realistic game. I don't see Atlanta being a full seller. Like I think that this year is just a fluke year. Like they have Murphy signed to a pretty reasonable extension. I don't think they have any intention of trading him. Maybe they do it like next year or if this winter, if they're blown away by an offer, but I think he's too valuable right now for them. So I think that he stays in Atlanta.
Boo, what a boring game.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
John Murphy's going to the St. Louis Cardinals.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're gonna trade for Sean
Ivan
Murphy.
Herrera?
Well, he's not catching anymore. Ivan Herrera's not even catching. So they're going to win. Cardinals are going to win some games here over the next 10 days, and they're going to go get Sean Murphy. And Herrera is going to come back as a DH. Yeah, they're going to put Herrera as a DH for a while. Pajes and those guys are just going to be third guys or whatever. Sean Murphy, St. Louis Cardinals.
So Wilson Contreras is still the first baseman.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. So would you say that Herrera then DHs?
Yeah. Yeah. He comes back this year as a DH.
And then what? So then is Brendan Donovan in the field? Who's their DH right now? Who's like their primary DH at the moment?
I mean, they've used a lot of guys. Alec Burleson's been a guy that's DH'd. Donovan plays the field most of the.
Yeah, every single player on that roster is a utility guy / DH.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and yes, Sean Murphy, St. Louis Cardinals. All right, last one I'm going to get to. Merrill Kelly, Arizona Diamondbacks, another Arizona Diamondback. You haven't. So Gallen didn't go anywhere.
Suarez went.
What is that?
Suarez went.
Yeah. So this is the third one. And where's Merrill Kelly going to go?
He is going to get traded at the deadline. And Merrill Kelly, start spreading the news because you're going to be a New York Yankee. That's the move, partner. That's the Yankee trade. It's not going to be Suarez. It's going to be Merrill Kelly. It's going to be a huge addition to their rotation that just lost Clark Schmidt for the next 18 months. Merrill Kelly, I think, can be acquired at a pretty reasonable cost that as much as we talk about the Yankees just feeling like they can get everyone they want, they don't have as many resources as the Dodgers do. So like they still kind of operate a little bit with more restraint these days. And I think Merrill Kelly just fits the bill of what they're looking for. So they're going to add Kelly. He's going to go into a rotation that'll have Rodon, Fried, Luis Gil once he's healthy. And that'll probably be your playoff rotation. So he'll be a New York Yankee.
That's interesting because before you said the New York Yankees, I had already penciled him in with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay. I like that you don't give any explanations. You just say a team and then you run away.
That is our trade deadline game. I've written them down so I can keep this piece of paper for a couple weeks here to see what the trade deadline looks like. Yeah. See if we get any of these 8 right.
So the game was fun. The game was great. I feel like though there are like certain players that maybe we aren't mentioning that I think are more likely to get traded than like Sean Murphy, even though you think that he's going to be a
throw me a name.
Like I could see the Royals being sellers. They've had a bad year, and like Seth Lugo is someone who I could very much see get dealt. I had mentioned, a couple of the Pirates guys, Mitch Keller, Brian Reynolds.
Seth Lugo goes to the Yankees.
Another Arizona guy who people have mentioned too is Josh Naylor potentially being on the block, and I feel like Josh Naylor is a sneaky guy to get traded as well. Your Cardinals have been in the rumor mill as a potential seller with a guy like Ryan Helsley. Could you see Ryan Helsley get dealt?
No, Cardinals aren't trading him. But Seth Lugo is going to the Yankees.
I see. Seth Lugo to me feels like a Houston Astro.
Okay, I'm penciling you in for the Astros. Josh Naylor.
Oh, and how about this? I think we have both overlooked the team that I think might be the biggest seller of all.
Before you do that, Josh Naylor is a Boston Red Sox.
Okay. All right. Yeah, to replace Casas.
Yeah. So what's the team you want to talk about?
I think the Baltimore Orioles are going to sell multiple guys. I think Ryan O'Hearn could be a possibility. I think Cedric Mullins could be a possibility. I think Charlie Morton could be a possibility. Like they probably have 5 or 6 guys on their major league roster right now, veterans that they can part with.
Charlie Morton is a Chicago Cub.
Okay. Who else did you have going to the Cubs? Who else did you have? Because you had someone else earlier.
Bednar. Yeah. David Bednar.
So Bednar and Charlie Morton. Okay.
Yeah. So I threw out names for Naylor and Morton. Where's Naylor going?
Naylor.
This will give us 10 names.
All right. Josh Naylor is going to also be a Seattle Mariner in the same deal for Eugenio Suarez. It's going to be both of them going over. And a massive Seattle's pushing all of their chips on the table, going for it.
Okay. And 42-year-old Charlie Morton?
Charlie Morton. Oh, that was a little gross. Charlie Morton, I will say Charlie Morton ends up going to... I think he'll be a San Francisco Giant.
Okay. Now we've accomplished 10 names. Good work. 10 names at the deadline. We can put an article out now. We can just start writing articles. These are where these guys are going to go. And here's why. Blank.
So speaking of, do you remember like back in the day, that's what Bleacher Report was? It was just these like slideshow it's almost like clickbait articles. Like I kind of miss that. I don't know why. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. The quality of the site is so much improved now, but like I miss just being able to Google something of just like top trade deadline names. And it's just a Bleacher Report article and it's just a slideshow and you just click through, you just see like, 6 names. All right. Awesome. And then you just sort of, you move on. But they're like, they had a slideshow. They had a slideshow article for like anything you could imagine. Bleacher Report had it. Yeah. I miss that.
All right, we'll recap this on our August 1st show or something, somewhere around there. We'll recap the trade deadline game. We about 15 minutes or so left of our hour, but 13 days until the Hall of Fame game. So we have continued our countdown to that. I don't have much in football I need to talk about because training camp starts, I think, this coming week. The Detroit Lions show up to camp. So we'll be able to talk a lot more. Anything in football you want to get off your mind here real quick?
Yeah, just one thing. I was doing some just sort of because I like to daydream about football. I miss it so much. And I was thinking about teams that are getting significant raises in the the over-under department. Now, all right, Rodney. When you hear 8.5 wins for the New England Patriots, your reaction is what?
I think we talked about them one of the last times. It wouldn't surprise me.
So this is where I'm struggling. The Patriots were in line to get the number 1 overall pick until they won a meaningless
Yeah.
game in week 18.
Yeah.
That means that they were, for 17 weeks, the worst team in football. And suddenly, because it's Mike Vrabel, Milton Williams, and Stephon Diggs, who I'm not 100% sure Stephon Diggs even plays for New England. I don't know. Like that has been weird, right? And a quarterback who is in his second year, Drake May, is wildly talented, but like is going to be learning a new system. I don't see the jump from worst team in the NFL to 9 wins. Like I know like they've made improvements. Yes. The schedule is pretty decent. The division is not overly hard minus Buffalo. But like I don't think that just feels like a huge jump, and there's so many people that are like all over them and have them maybe behind San Francisco as the most likely worst to first team in the NFL. Like are we giving like Mike Vrabel that much credit? Like as he's that brilliant of a coach? The guy wasn't even hired last year.
Yeah. Are we? It's probably more because of the AFC East, right? Like they can beat the Jets.
It's the schedule. Yeah. It's all of those things for sure.
Yeah. Real quick on the open, Brian Harmon's -8, Lee's -7. So we've got the scores keep moving down, but Brian Harmon's now done for the day. So 8 will be where he settles. But anyways, no, 8.5 is probably still too high. I do think they are going to be much improved. 8.5, I'd probably put it more like 7 or 8 wins. But a sure shot over 8.5 seems silly to me.
Yeah, it's not like 8.5, but then the odds are lopsided. Like it's about even action on both sides to get over or under there at 8.5. It's like we think that that's going to be a playoff team suddenly. I don't know. It feels like we're buying too much into them. That's just me. That's me. But that's all. That's all I have.
We'll spend plenty more football talk as the days. Sweet Miami 8.5 is a good line. Okay.
Are we sure they'll sweep Miami? The Patriots historically never win in Miami. I think what Dan, since you're here, look this up. Look up what Tom Brady's career record is at Miami, like as a member of the Patriots. Because in my head, I feel like the Patriots always lost in Miami. I don't know why. Maybe I'm foolish, but
Dan says,
and like he says, Dolphins are gonna be bad. And I know you and I, Rodney, are both like not super high on the Dolphins. I don't think they're gonna be awful. But, like, I still think they're probably going to be around where they were last year, like between 7 and 9 wins. I don't think that this is going to be a 4-win team, nor do I think the Jets are going to be like a 4 or 5-win team either. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving the Patriots enough respect. Maybe I'm overvaluing the Dolphins and the Jets to a degree because they came off of disappointing years. But it's not like those teams are absolute dog shit. Like, that's my point. Right. And the Patriots were the worst team in the NFL up until a fluke win in Week 18. The worst. So,
speaking of Dan, we got to cover this real quick. I want to do this before our Mount Rushmores of 81, because we may not be able to wait till Tuesday on this one. His baby odds. So Dan's wife is expecting a baby over the next 10 days or so, and he gave us odds on Tuesday for various props within this bet. Within this baby. And I got to write these down again. Yeah. So he gave us the prop of -110 for boy, -110 for girl. Tim, you're going to start first on this one. You going boy or girl?
I think boy. Most of my friends have had girls, interestingly enough, but I think Dan is going to be the exception. I think it's going to be a boy.
I'm going to go girl. Next one, he gave -110 odds on the baby being born AM or PM. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to start here, and I am going to say PM.
My first thought was AM. Yeah, I'm going nice morning baby.
Okay, I'll set this one up for you to go first. you get first name, A through L is minus 120. M through Z is even money. A through L, minus 120. M through Z, even money. You get to go first here. What's your thought?
So I think that they clearly know what the name is, for both. And I think that, as we mentioned on Tuesday, they're really, and I'm saying they as if it's like this giant book. It's just Dan. But like, I think what he's doing is he's trying to bait us into taking that plus 100, but I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to say A through L at minus 120. I'm going to eat those odds and say, I think there's a lot more possibilities with those letters than the other one.
Screw it. I'll go M through Z. Even money.
Yeah. Of course you do. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And then the last one is, and I'll do this one first. 7.6 pounds is the number. You can go minus 110 over, minus 110 under. I've only seen Dan's wife a couple times in my life, and I think she's smaller. This is so weird to say for a female, but I don't think I
would just stop right now if I were you.
Yeah, I don't think she's a big lady. I don't know. Like I don't know. Obviously now she is, because she's 9 months pregnant. So shout out to Dan's wife, who hopefully never listens to this show. But I didn't look at her as like, oh, she's super tall. So I'm gonna go under.
Holy shit, dude.
I didn't say anything. I did not say anything. I did not say anything I shouldn't. And I was very careful. I don't know. I've only seen her like 2 times in my life. So I'll go under 7.6 pounds.
I was also gonna go under. So we agreed there on the weight. Oh my God.
I didn't cross any lines there. I just said I didn't see her as an overly. I can't even say big, because that's not nice to a female. Dan gets it. He knows where I'm coming.
On a lighter note, Brady. So Brady, okay, losing record at Miami, like 8-10. Brady with New England, 8-10 in Miami. That's a GOAT. That's a GOAT, and that's against a lot of bad Dolphins teams. Mind you,
yeah,
that's when the Patriots were a perennial Super Bowl favorite and the Dolphins were largely irrelevant, and he had a losing record in Miami. Yeah. So it's like the team doesn't win there. It's hard for whatever reason, and like I'm sure the Dolphins have like 3 wins in New England in the last 30 years, but like we're not talking about that. We're talking about the other thing. So, all right, thank you. Do God,
no, we're done. No, we're done. No more of that.
Holy crap.
Best 80 Mount Rushmore's of 81. 81. Yeah, go ahead.
So baseball, there's actually a guy right now, Ryan Thompson, who spent 3.5 years in Tampa Bay, now currently in Arizona Diamondback. I think he's a reliever. He's worn it for 6 years, but he's not going to be on our Mount Rushmore of 81s, nor is anyone from the NBA, even though Jose Calderon wore it for a couple years. He was a good player. Jose Calderon, like sneaky good, like off the bench. He started for a few teams too, but he's just like one of those guys who came in and quietly had a really nice career. But not going to be on our Mount Rushmore. NHL, you have some better guys. Kyle Connor, who's a really good player on the Winnipeg Jets. Was Kyle Connor the one who scored the goal against St. Louis? Who scored that was him?
Yeah,
on the deflection.
Yeah, I believe it was Kyle Connor.
Yeah. So we don't have to talk about that anymore. Good player. Now there are. All right, we're going to focus a lot on NFL, but I'm going to give you a couple hockey guys real quick that will make you think. Okay. So we have Marian Hossa, Hall of Famer, who wore 81 for his entire career with the Chicago Blackhawks. So he wasn't 81 for his whole career, but he was 81 with the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
And someone who did wear 81 for his whole career, though, Phil Kessel, the multiple-time Stanley Cup champion, played for the Leafs, played for the Penguins, started with the Bruins, So Phil Kessel's an 81. Also, Jonathan Marchessault, who was a Stanley Cup champ with the Vegas Golden Knights, he's also a career 81 as well. So Marian Hossa, Phil Kessel, Jonathan Marchessault, like that's some pretty good hockey names. But obviously, NFL, we're going to have to look at that list and decide where we want to go.
Yeah, because I'll go two NFL right away that I think belong, and there's really no question on these two for me, is Terrell Owens and Calvin Johnson. I mean,
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
you know, and that's not even talking about Tim Brown, Art Monk, and guys, Anquan Bolden, guys like that.
And
Torrey Holt.
how Torrey Holt? I was just gonna say Torrey Holt's sitting there on that list, like just sneaking in. Like that's it. Yeah, this is tough, man, and especially like because we can only pick 4 guys.
Yeah. And so my question in hockey is like I was originally okay with both those guys, with both Kessel and Hossa. But I don't know if you can justify 2 hockey guys with as strong as this NFL list is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do not think you can take 2. I think that we take 1 hockey guy. We have to debate who that is, and we go 3 NFL. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, we did receivers for number 80, but I mean, if this is my choice, I don't know. Like, it's hard to pass up Tim Brown though, because like I would say T.O., Calvin Johnson, and Torrey Holt, but like, am I giving up Tim Brown because he started his career in the 80s? Like, I don't know. But back to hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm probably taking Marian Hossa. And maybe it's because the Chicago and, you know, that he's a little bit more local. But his career in Chicago was really damn good. His impact in Chicago was really good. I'm probably taking Marian Hossa here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, three cups with the Hawks. So, yeah. Marian Hossa, I'm good with that. So he gets 1 spot. T.O.'s going to get a spot. I think Calvin Johnson is going to get a spot. And then it comes down to Tim Brown, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Holt. Like, who of those? Like, by the numbers, I think it probably should be Tim Brown, even though like Bolden and Torrey Holt were a little more in our era. So Torrey Holt, the issue with Torrey Holt though is that, and I see this, he didn't wear 81 until the year 2002.
Yeah.
So he had 3 years, his first 3 years in St. Louis, where he wore a different number. So
I'm okay eliminating him on this one. We got Isaac Bruce in. I don't need Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. I can go. I mean, I'm looking up Tim Brown's numbers now. Pretty good numbers. I mean, I obviously knew he was a very strong player, but he's got good numbers. He played 16 seasons, right?
17. Yeah. Even though one of those years he like barely played. He had like 1 game. So
yeah, a lot of longevity in the sport. Played 15, 16 games almost every year. Had 100 touchdowns in his career. I'm probably going Tim Brown here. There was a guy named Carl Eller who was apparently pretty good, but I don't know much about him. But
defensive end. Yeah, I saw that too. And number 81 defensive end, who is a Hall of Famer with the Minnesota Vikings. What is it with the Minnesota Vikings having all of these guys from the 60s and 70s that we've never heard of that are all Hall of Famers? You would think all of these Hall of Famers that we see that are these legendary players that they would have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Shout out Vikings fans. But I'm probably going to go ahead and go with Tim Brown on this one. Anquan Bolden's more our years. Bolden, you know, there's an 18 touchdown difference. Now, obviously, Tim Brown played longer than Anquan Bolden. I'll give a shout out to the 80s and 90s and go Tim Brown.
I'm gonna go Tim Brown as well. We're also like we overlooked Art Monk. Art Monk isn't really in our era either because he was mostly 80s with Washington, but like he's a Hall of Famer, very good player. But this is our list, and I'm gonna go T.O.
It is. And I
Calvin
think
Johnson.
Dan would disagree on our hockey one. I think he wants to go Phil Kessel over Marian Hossa. Sorry, Dan. Marian Hossa is the choice.
I think he's letting his Blackhawks hate fuel his opinions here.
It's possible.
But yeah, I begrudgingly admit that Marian Hossa is a better player than Phil Kessel. Like he is.
Yeah.
He's a better player.
Yeah.
So I will take Hosa there. That's a damn good 81, dude. That's a good 81.
Yeah. So Marion Hosa, Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens, and Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. All right. No games on the Substack yesterday because there was no sports, but back at it today with Major League Baseball. I believe we got 5 WNBAs off until next week. So there was literally no games yesterday, but we are ahead in the month of July. We'll continue doing that through the rest of the year.
You could have put some first round Open Championship bets or some second round Open Championship bets in anticipation of today. If you really wanted it. If you really wanted it bad enough, you would have found a way.
I just sent one out and didn't give any picks. That's okay. That should be about it. Follow us on Twitter, not X, at Stupid Sports Show. No W on the end. You can follow us there. And Bryson DeChambeau's on 18. He missed his birdie putt, but he's going to make the cut at +1 on the weekend. That's crazy because he was like 7 yesterday. Yeah. Everybody's making the cut. Just if you throw a name, they made the cut.
Who are the guys that have not made the cut? Out of curiosity.
So I'll pull up the US Open site here and we'll go through that real quick. Almost everybody makes the cut.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, our lineup from Tuesday nights, we still have 4 guys in the top 20, including Fitzpatrick, who's now 3rd in the tournament. So happy for Matty Fitz. Spieth is down to 32nd. He's 2 under on the day, but even for the whole tournament. And then Straka just got underway not too long ago. So the cut line right now. Yeah, go ahead.
We need Sepp Straka to be good today. A few birdies. Yeah. Get in comfortably. Don't be flirting with that line. Get him in. Get 6 of 6 and see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah. He's right on the cut line because right now it's at +1. So anyone at 2 over or worse is currently out. Now that might change. We'll see. But currently, some of the big names that people would know, Joaquin Neiman is sitting right at 2 over for the tournament. Patrick Cantlay is on the course now, but he's currently out. Hideki Matsuyama, JJ Spawn, the U.S. Open champ, although he hasn't teed off today yet. Jason Day. Henrik Stenson, I know that we were flirting with that one lineup where we just threw Henrik Stenson out there, but he's currently out. Corey Connors is another one that's currently out of the cut line. Colin Morikawa was 4 over yesterday, so he has some work to do today to make the cut.
Brooks
Open champion himself. So
yeah, Brooksy's on +4 right now as well. Patrick Reed went 6 over yesterday. He looks like he could struggle to get in. Louis Oosthuizen is not going to make it. He's 7 over. Adam Scott, 9 over today. No, 8 over today, 9 for the tournament. That's not good. That's
really bad. Yeah, that puts him in a tie for 148th. That's real bad showing from Adam Scott, who normally like I love playing Adam Scott in majors, so that's real disappointing.
And now it appears the rain is coming at some point because those clouds were pretty dark. But good luck to our teams and all your teams this weekend.
And by the way, Rodney, happy trails to Yaroslav Halak, who played for many teams, including the St. Louis Blues, just announced his retirement today. So happy trails.
He's got to be mid-40s.
Is he?
God, I feel like it. I feel like he's been around forever.
He played 500-something games. Yaroslav Halak is right at 40.
Okay.
He just turned 40 a couple months ago. So, yeah, he played for 7 teams, including your St. Louis Blues. So, happy trails to one of the final guys taken in that legendary 2003 draft. He was 271st overall in the 2003 draft. That's a pretty good career. Taken so low. 7-year career, played almost 600 games.
Hey, before we log off for today, shout out to Dan's wife, lovely lady.
Lovely lady. As you said very small.
Because very small is better than very large, right? Like you can't come on here and say she's a very large woman. So shout out Dan's wife and good luck.
Even though you did, because you were like, well, she's 9 months pregnant, so I don't know. I don't know what that was. That was just a whole unraveling of just everything, and it's all of the words rattling around in your brain, you somehow let all of them out. So congratulations.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Reminder, you can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter, no W at the end. And for any of our 81 episodes of the show, listen on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts. So for Rodney Newpol, who's been up since like 3 a.m. watching golf, this is Tim, the Empire State Building Van Stratton, signing off for another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. Talk to you guys Tuesday. See ya.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.